Abusive ex tried baby trapping me, but I broke up with him anyway. Now his entitled parents demand my baby, then kidnapped her, only to get stopped by my boyfriend, who is strong as F. Then they lied to the cops, saying my baby is theirs, and that we physically assaulted her and stole her baby. That's how she got herself arrested. Hello, so this story happened to me for over a year, and I think and hope it has finally stopped. Here is some backstory. After a painful breakup with a guy I was really into, I went back with my ex and, after a month, ended up pregnant. Because of my religious background, I decided to keep the baby and break up with my ex. He was 6 years older than me, 27 years, and was starting over his career, had no work, lived off his parents' money, and was a jerk to his pets. He spent all his remaining money on plants. It was his hobby, all while I was pregnant. He dismissed all my symptoms, like morning sickness, dizziness, weakness, and mood swings, as something I was making up. Seeing I was going to have no future with him, and that he might even end up abusing our child as he did with his dog, a sweet pit bull named Andromeda that got constant beatings when he was not in the mood. So I broke up with him, and he was shocked. He was sure that now that I was pregnant with his child, I would not escape him. He even tried proposing to me, but I said no, that I had no future with him, and that he better leave me alone. During my first 3 months of pregnancy, my thoughts of being better off alone were confirmed when he mistreated me emotionally, saying all my morning sickness, nausea, and all the other pregnancy symptoms were psychological, because they were too early on into the pregnancy. He forced me to go to parties, walk long distances, and visit his family, even though I was feeling really sick. So after 3 months of torture, I broke up with him. The next month, he came over to my house, called, and tried to persuade my parents to tell me to get back with him. My parents told him to speak to me, and that they wouldn't deal with our relationship. My parents are really supportive of me. You see, I was born in Russia, but moved to Ecuador when I was small. I have fair skin, hair, and eyes. In the country where I live, mostly everyone has dark features. I was seen as a trophy because of my heritage and looks. He showed me off when we were together to all his family, and I found out it was his family tradition to marry people from out of the country to have a higher status. Meanwhile, my ex's parents, let's call them Bob and Karen, were being all nice and sweet to me. I never had any trouble with them and considered them really nice people until now. They texted me to ask how I was feeling and if I needed anything. But by that time I decided I didn't want any contact with the family. I wouldn't take money from him for childcare because I didn't want any visits, though I was planning on allowing Bob and Karen to visit and take care of the baby. X wasn't really worried about the baby and was more thinking about winning me back. But when he found out it was not going to happen, he left the case altogether. Fast forward my pregnancy, I start dating my best friend, let's call him Isaac, and he helps me through the pregnancy and is there with me even during childbirth. Everything goes well, and I have a precious baby girl. I fall in love with her immediately. Everything goes well when I get a text from Bob saying he was outside my house, and for me to come out because he had some gifts for baby. You see, in Ecuador, there is a culture where you have to call beforehand about a week prior to visiting, and it was highly disrespectful if you just showed up at someone's house demanding to be let in. I got slightly irritated by this fact, but came out. He and his wife Karen were there and handed me a bag of gifts from all the family members. They told me about me and the pregnancy and said if they could see the baby. I told them that at the moment she was sleeping, and we didn't want to let anyone in so she wouldn't wake up. She was really small yet, about 3 weeks, I think. The sweet couple's face turned and twisted into pissed-off entitled grandparents. Karen struck with her fist against their car, a small Chevrolet Aveo, and the father just grumbled, but then calmed down and said that they gave me presents and now have the right to visit their grandchild, that I must allow them in, and that Karen wanted to hold her. You see, to me, respect is really important, and I can't stand being disrespected. I just gave birth 3 weeks ago, can barely walk, and now they want to come in and hold my baby. No way. I just changed my mind about allowing them in her life. So the conversation went as follows. Me, excuse me, but I can't let you in right now. She is sleeping and wakes up easily. Bob, oh, come on. It's just a baby. She will fall asleep right after a few minutes. Just let us come in. Karen has come all this way to carry her. Me, sorry, but it's a no. Thanks for the gift, though. Next time, it would be nice if you called prior to coming so I can make sure everything is ready for your visit, and you might get to hold her. Karen, you have no right to hold the baby away from us, even if your relationship with X didn't work. She is our grandchild. Me, I understand. But as I said before, I really don't want to wake her up. Karen, how dare you disrespect me? That is our baby, and we have the right to see her. Bring her out now. Me? No, sorry, I can't. Bob, cutting me off that baby is worth a lot to us. You know that in our family bloodline is very important. We need to take pictures of her and send them. Did she get blonde hair and green eyes like you? Me. She has amber hair and blue eyes. Bob, that will do. Bring her out now. Me, sorry, I am tired. I usually sleep when she sleeps, so I'm going in right now. Karen. Bob, do something about it. She is kidnapping our baby and keeping it away from us. I closed the door behind me, feeling in shock. They treat my baby as if she were a dog that had a pedigree, and they wanted to show her pictures to the other family they had. I did not like this one bit. I went inside while Bob was trying to calm Karen, assuring her that I would let them see the baby next visit. No, I won't. Fast forward about a month, and I receive a call that they are here. Great, they didn't call prior to the visit once again. Now I have a chance to talk to them. I come out with my dad this time. He is a really tall, well-built man with a stone face. He is really kind and funny, but has a dead serious face most of the time. I wanted him to be with me just in case they became aggressive or something. This time even X decided to show up. Bob. Hello OP, can we see the baby now? We got you more gifts. Me, sorry, but you won't be seeing the girl. You see, I want to start my life fresh. I made many mistakes in the past, and I do not want to get involved with you or your family at all. I have now moved on and want a future with me and my daughter. Even if I get a chance to find someone else and marry, I don't want my daughter to have 3 sets of grandparents. I hope you understand that. I said way much more stuff, but this is a summary of everything. Karen's face turned red, as if I just had insulted her with the worst kind of words, and she just leaned on her car and hid her face while starting to sob silently. I kind of felt bad for her, but all that sympathy died soon. Bob. Chuckles, oh kids these days. Listed we are her grandparents and have the right to see her and have her and do what we wish with her. She is our family, so don't act immature. You bring her out now so we can see her. Also on holidays, she will be coming to our place and spending it with us. You are just a child and don't know anything about life. I'm 22. She will suffer if she doesn't spend time with us. You have no right to take her away from us. I understand you are angry at X, but that doesn't give you the right to behave like this. X. Yes, she is mad at me and does this as a payoff. Bob. Our family is very prestigious, so the child will be very happy. Also, everyone will like her because she has foreign blood, and we want to make sure everyone knows how special she is. Me. My decision is final. Sorry, I will not hold contact with you, nor will you get to meet my daughter. Karen. How dare you, little immature girl, take this right away from us. We are her grandparents. My dad, who was already fed up with all this that happened, raised his voice, which he never does, and sounded pretty terrifying. His Spanish isn't really good, but he made himself clear. Dad. Okay, you listen to me now. My daughter has suffered enough with people like you. She wants to start a new life, and it will be best for her daughter to do the same. She doesn't have to be with people like you, so just leave her alone. OP, let's go inside now. Karen then pushed past me, and screeching like a mad banshee tried to push her way past my house's gate and into my yard. This surprised me, her husband Bob, and even X, but not my dad. He just stood in the way, blocking her from going in till she got tired and walked back to her car, defeated. Bob. We are family and have rights. Remember that, you immature girl. You are hurting your daughter. So let me tell you some stuff about parental rights in Ecuador. The mother has sole custody until the father proves he is the father with a DNA test. He has 5 years to prove it, or he loses his right to parenthood. Only the father has the right to move something in court. It costs about $1,500 to call me for court, $1,500 to bring the DNA test result, $1,000 to state that he is the father, and $1,500 to set out the visit rights and such. Being an unemployed teen with no career and no time living in a city 6 hours away from me, he didn't have all that money, nor did his parents, and he also only cared about winning me back to show me off. He didn't care about his daughter, and I couldn't be happier. His parents couldn't bring anything to court since they are not the immediate relatives. So I am more than sure that they won't be able to do anything. After all that, they texted me a few times trying to come over and visit my daughter once again. But all their offers were denied. And after they came without announcement once again, and nobody came out, that was the end of it. Or so I thought. So I live pretty far from them, in the next city, which is a 2-hour drive. And close to my house, there is a shopping mall I often go to. So I was on a stroll there with my Isaac, who, apart from being pretty handsome, practices martial arts and is buff as F. His friends nicknamed him the demigod because of it. So he is quite intimidating, and when he gets pissed, all hell breaks loose. Also, he is really protective of me and my daughter. Every Saturday or Sunday, we go out just to walk around, buy a snack, and just have a chill time dating with my daughter in her stroller, mostly sleeping. X knew I used to do this and must have told his parents because while we were waiting in line for our ice cream at Baskin-Robbins, I had the stroller next to me, not in front as usual because it would take unnecessary space in the line. So I have the stroller on my right and Isaac is on the left. I have my hand on the stroller, and we are just chatting along, waiting our turn when I feel light movement in the stroller, and turn to see if my daughter, let's call her Abby, woke up. To my surprise and shock, I see Karen trying to sneak Abby out of her stroller, obviously waking her up and making her make muffled cries. Me, what do you think you are doing? I say while I try to take Abby from Karen's arms, but there is a stroller between us, and Karen turns around and starts to speedily walk off with crying Abby in her arms. You must as well know that in Ecuador, you might be getting robbed, harassed, or attacked, and almost no one cares or will do anything about it. So all the people in line just stared. I walked past the stroller to chase after her, but Isaac was faster and managed to catch up to Karen, who was pretty fat and slow. He snatched Abby carefully from her arms while she was having a fit, handed her to me, and proceeded to scream at Karen. I noticed that Bob was in the car peeping at her, but not wanting to come out. They wanted to make a run for it and steal my daughter away. Isaac, how dare you touch Abby and worse, even steal her away from her stroller? You dumb B0XC6. Karen then sat on the ground and started screaming for security. They came and asked what's going on. Security guy 1. Ma'am, what seems to be the problem? Karen. They kidnapped my daughter. That baby is mine. And they took her away from me, and then shoved me to the floor and kicked me in the guts. Security guy 2. Is that true? Isaac. No, of course not. She stole my girlfriend's baby from her stroller and tried to make a run for it. She is the mother of OP's ex. I just stopped the fat bee and returned the baby to my GF. Karen. He is lying. He stole her from me. I am the mother. And she looks like me. Don't you see? Security guy 1. Well, let's check security footage to see if. Karen. Interrupting, there is no need for that. We are wasting time. Just give me my daughter back now. She needs me. So security made us all go and check the footage when they proved that Karen was following us for about an hour before trying to snatch Abby, while Bob was waiting in the car for her all this time. Then the footage showed everything else that happened. The security guy said he would have to call the police, so while he dialed the cops, she once again tried to snatch the now sleeping Abby from my arms. But without luck because Isaac was right there and blocked her way before pushing her down to the ground. Karen just stood up and started screeching, while trying to go past him again, throwing punches and kicks. The security guards had to restrain her until the police came and took her away. So that was the last I heard from them, and I hope it stays that way. You see, some of you may think that it's wrong for me to keep my daughter from her father. But knowing that first, he has no interest in her, second, he is an abuser, and third, he might only use her as an object to show her off to his friends and family makes me believe I am making the right choice in protecting her from all the pain that might bring to her in the future.